Hey, what's up everybody? It's Richie here, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. A review of my brand new mouse, the HAVIT HVMS735. Quite a mouthful to say, that I got because, if you remember, my old ancient office mouse, which was never really designed to do anything besides open Microsoft Word, finally died after several years of torture as a gaming mouse. I think that mouse did not like to do anything. So when I was buying a new mouse, I really didn't have any expectation. I mean, I wanted to get a gaming mouse, but I didn't want to really spend any money, which is why I ended up with this, which is about $30. It has a lot of nice functionality, and of course, it doesn't break the bank like the scary $120 gaming mice you see big companies promoting. So obviously when I was getting this, because I've never even used a gaming mouse before, I didn't have any real expectations as to what I wanted. I wanted it to look cool, because I've never had a cool looking mouse. I wanted, I guess, a little extra functionality, because I am paying $30 for it, which I got in the form of 12 macro buttons and a DPI switch that turns the sensitivity up and down, which I actually use quite a lot. And last of all, I just wanted a mouse that would work nicely, which I hadn't had before, so I guess it didn't have much to live up to. However, this little mouse more than exceeded my non-existent expectations. For someone who doesn't really know much about mouse tech and what makes a good mouse, I have to say this is the best mouse I've ever used. Now, don't take that to heart. Don't think this is the best mouse ever. I don't actually have experience using high-quality mice, but it's very sensitive, it's very responsive, and it's very, very tweakable and adjustable. Now, this mouse ships in a fairly well-designed box with basically the mouse, a warranty, an instruction manual, and, of course, a micro CD so that you can install the driver. Of course, if you don't have a CD drive like me, then you can just go to the HAVIT website and they'll have the driver and software you need for your mouse right there. The mouse isn't that heavy, but it's heavy enough to feel substantial and nice when you're moving it around in your hand. And the ergonomic grip support, well, some of it works. Basically, my thumb feels perfect, my first, second, and third fingers feel perfect, and then my pinky just sort of hangs off the edge. It's not annoying, it's not obnoxious, but it is a little weird to have every finger fit perfectly except for one. With that said, it's a lot more comfortable than the mouse I was using before, which was basically a gray sort of blob that you just plopped your fingers down over. The scroll wheel also feels pretty smooth. Not too clicky like my last one did, but still enough that you can easily stop and it doesn't roll over to the next scroll piece. Up behind the scroll wheel, we have two buttons to adjust our DPI, or sensitivity. And while the settings on it feel a little bit weird at first, you can adjust them all in the driver, and I've gotten a setup that I find pretty nice, where I can have a regular setting for playing a game, and then say when I want to use my sniper rifle, I can move the sensitivity down so I can be really, really accurate. And when I want to move fast and I want to look around fast, I can move my sensitivity up. It's not exactly incredibly easy to instinctively switch DPI, but it's at the level where I can easily switch in-game without really thinking about it to adjust to how I'm playing, which is really nice. Now, over on the side, we have 12 macro buttons that are all, I think, supposed to be hit with your thumb. Now, I haven't used these too much so far, but I did a little bit of testing with them, and surprisingly, after a little bit of practice, I can instinctively hit the correct buttons. They're sort of ridged in opposite ways so you can feel which one's which, and it is actually interesting to see that I can use all 12 buttons with my thumb. My only complaint about these is that they might be a little too clicky. You have to really press down with your thumb in order to click them, which wouldn't be a problem, except they are a little bit slippery. So on, say, the higher buttons up in the back, you sort of feel like you're slipping and that it's uncomfortable to press those buttons while in game. But that said, maybe 6 or 7 of them are very easily accessible without feeling like anything went wrong. So, I mean, who needs more than 6 or 7 buttons in the game? And these buttons can either be programmed to work as keyboard keys or as macros, making them really, really useful. Now, I really don't know much about mouse specifications, but to me, from just a buyer's point of view, it seems like this mouse competes with much more expensive designer brand gaming mice. It can have a resolution of up to 12,000 dpi, which is way more sensitivity than anyone could need. And if you want to go past that, it has a maximum acceleration of 50G. It has a report rate of 500 Hz, a frame rate of 12,000 FPS, and I'm just sort of reading this off. I don't really know what any of it means, but it has a cable length of 1.8 meters, which does actually feel a little short. It's not a problem for me, but I could easily see someone reaching the cable over a long desk and behind, having it just a little bit short. However, I have it on a desk. I'm running it under the desk and back up behind to reach my laptop, and I'm having absolutely no problems with it. And speaking of the cable, it is a nice braided, I don't know what to call it. It's a braided cable, and it feels pretty nice. It feels significant. It doesn't feel like it'll break. And in general, I guess because it's a higher quality mouse, the whole thing feels very solid. The buttons, they make like the really nice mouse clicky sound. It just feels like something that's well built and won't easily fall apart and will last a long time. And honestly, that's what I want from a mouse like this. Now, of course, no gaming mouse would be complete without RGB, and this offers a sort of limited amount of light settings, but enough for anyone who really doesn't care that much about light settings and just thinks they're cool. Now, you can set this mouse to toggle between all of the colors, which is what it's doing right now, and you can also set it to have different colors for different DPI settings. So, like, if we have our normal, we can make that blue, and then switch it up to red or whatever. I don't know what you'd use that for. The only problem with this RGB setup is while the lights on the Magic Eagle logo and the scroll wheel change, the lights on the indicator for DPI and the macro buttons will always stay blue. So it might just be a good idea to set all your LEDs to blue so that the whole mouse matches. So overall, would I recommend this mouse? Probably yes. Now, I'm not experienced with this tech. I don't know everything there is to know, and I haven't tested out a bunch of other mice. But from a consumer perspective, it's cheaper than all the other mice with the same settings, and it feels nice, and I'm not seeing any quality loss. It doesn't feel cheaply built. The whole thing feels very solid and comes together very nicely, and so far, I haven't had a problem with it. So that's my little review. I hope you liked it. I hope it helped you. And of course, if you're new here, if you were just Googling a review to try to check out what this mouse was like before you bought it, well then, thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, because we do a lot of fun stuff over this channel, and a lot more fun stuff is going to be happening. So until the next time, guys, this has been Richie, and I'm out. I'll see ya.